Every BPO floor follows the same pattern. A small group of agents perform exceptionally well, most of the team operates somewhere in the middle, and a portion consistently struggles. This gap between the best and the rest is what we call execution variance. My name is Ram Chella and I am a revenue architect. For over 2 decades, I've worked in go-to-market, from Microsoft to Bay Area investment firms, focused on one thing: improving how revenue teams execute. In most BPO operations, about 10 to 20% of agents generate 40 to 60% of the results. The rest of the team performs at very different levels. That gap isn't just a performance difference. It's where companies quietly lose revenue, customer experience, and operational efficiency. Top performers don't succeed because they work harder, and they usually are not more talented either. They succeed because their behavior during conversations follow consistent patterns. They ask better discovery questions, they listen more carefully, they handle objections with confidence. Struggling agents often miss these patterns. They ask fewer questions, they interrupt customers, like I always do, or they lose control of the conversation. These small behavioral differences create large differences in performance. How we identify the gap. The first step is simple. We take a sample of real conversations from your team. Then we identify 2 groups, your top 10% and your bottom 30%. RevOn analyzes how both groups behave during calls. We look at things like discovery questions, objection handling, listening patterns, and conversation structure. When we compare these 2 groups side by side, the behavioral gap becomes very clear. And that gap explains the difference in performance. Once we identify the behavioral gaps, the next step is fixing them. Instead of generic training, RevOn converts those gaps into targeted coaching. Each agent practices only the skills they are missing. That might include daily tips, flashcards, short drills, practice scenarios, or AI-powered role-play sessions. The goal is simple: help every rep practice the exact behavior that top performers consistently demonstrate. RevOn works as a continuous improvement system. First, we analyze calls, then we identify the behavioral gaps, next we deliver targeted micro-coaching, and new calls are analyzed again to see whether those behaviors improved. If the gap shrinks, the system worked. If not, coaching continues. Over time, this loop steadily reduces execution variance across the team. The easiest way to understand execution variance in your team is to see it with your own data. So the first step is simple. Give us a sample of your recorded calls, typically from both top performers and the bottom 30%. RevOn analyzes those conversations and identifies the behavioral differences between the 2 groups. Within a few days, we produce what we call variance map, a clear picture of the behaviors driving the performance gap. There's no integration, no commitment, just a quick way to see where the biggest improvement opportunities exist in your operations. Imagine this: when execution variance decreases, the entire operation becomes more predictable. Instead of few exceptional agents carrying results, performance becomes consistent across the floor. Conversion improves, customer experience becomes more reliable, agents ramp up faster, and managers spend less time chasing coaching. In other words, your best agent stops being the exception. Their behavior becomes the standard for the entire team. If this resonates with the challenges you're seeing on your floor, the next step is very simple. You don't need to buy anything, nor integrate any systems. Just share a bunch of sample calls. Within a few days, we will show you exactly where the execution gaps exist in your team. If the insights are valuable, we can then install the continuous improvement system that reduces that variance over time. You can reach me directly, scan the QR code on the slide, connect with me on LinkedIn, or send me an email or DM me. I'd be happy to take a look at your calls and help you see what's possible inside your operations. Looking forward.